Today, we're going to break down a pretty groundbreaking university project. It's all about turning students into digital mental health advocates. Their whole mission? To build a complete support ecosystem for high schoolers. And get this, it's powered entirely by the latest AI tools. Let's see how they're pulling it off. So the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful call to action. Ladies and gentlemen, you are agents of change. Right from the start, this frames it as something much bigger than just an assignment. It's a mission. The students are told, hey, you're not just learners, you're change makers, and your job is to use technology to make a real positive impact. Okay, so here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll cover the core mission. Then we'll check out the specific AI toolkit they're using. After that, we'll walk through their 4-phase action plan, see what the final digital ecosystem actually looks like, and wrap up with how they make sure their work has the biggest impact possible. All right, let's dive into section 1, the mission. The main objective here is to build a digital support system specifically for high school students in Malaysia. Now, these kids are facing the massive pressure of their national exams, the SPM and STPM. Just think of them as the equivalent of A-levels or the SATs. So yeah, the stress is real. So the goal is pretty simple, but actually really profound. Use cutting-edge AI to directly help these students manage their exam stress. It's all about taking this brand new technology and applying it to a very persistent, very real-world problem. And that gives the whole project a super clear and powerful purpose. Now for section 2, your AI toolkit. A mission this ambitious? Well, it's going to require some serious gear. So now we're going to explore the high-tech arsenal these student advocates are using to build their entire ecosystem right from scratch. This here lays out the entire tech stack. You can think of it like a complete assembly line of tools. It's a pipeline designed to take a project from that very first little spark of an idea all the way to strategically distributing it on YouTube. Let's break down what each of these tools actually does. First up, you've got the creative engines, ChatGPT and Gemini. These are the absolute starting point. They're used for brainstorming all the content ideas, for crafting really specific AI prompts for the other tools, and even for writing and refining the lyrics for motivational songs. You can really think of them as the project's idea command center. Next up are the core content generators. This is where the magic really starts to happen. Suno AI is used to create what the project calls music therapy. We're talking high-energy pop rock tracks. At the same time, Notebook LM takes a bunch of academic notes on psychology and transforms them into this informative, two-host podcast-style audio overview. This is where the raw assets are born. And finally, you've got the finishing and distribution tools. Canva is basically the visual studio where everything gets put together. The slide decks, the posters, and the final video. Then, vidIQ comes in to handle the search engine optimization, making sure that the finished video can actually tame the YouTube algorithm and reach the students who need it most. Okay, so we've got the mission and we've got the tools. Now we get to section 3, the action plan. This is the how-to part, the step-by-step pipeline that's going to turn all those abstract ideas into real, tangible digital impact. The whole workflow is broken down into this super clear 4-phase process. Phase 1 is ideate. That's where you do the research and craft your prompts. Phase 2 is generate, creating the actual audio, images, and text. Phase 3 is assemble, where it all comes together in Canva. And finally, phase 4 is distribute, where you optimize it all for YouTube. It's a complete production line for digital advocacy. Diving into phase 1, it's not just about creative brainstorming. Students have to ground their work in actual, valid psychological research to create tips that work. And there are specific rules to keep things focused, like generating exactly 5 unique AI images, with one of them being strategically set aside as that all-important YouTube thumbnail. Okay, now for the master prompts. This is like the secret sauce for getting great results. This is the exact prompt they use for Suno AI. And notice how specific it is. It calls out the genre, fast-paced pop rock, the melody, the tone of the lyrics, and even the vocal style. This level of detail is exactly how you guide the AI to create the perfect motivational track you need. And it's the same deal for Notebook LM. Again, precision is everything. It doesn't just ask for some audio, it asks for a podcast-style audio overview with 2 hosts. It even specifies the exact topics they need to cover. This just goes to show the quality of the AI's output is 100% tied to the quality of your input. So this brings up a really good question. You've got your songs, you've got your podcast audio, you've got your AI-generated images. How do you weave all of these separate things into one single, cohesive, and powerful video? Well, the answer is in Phase 3, the Canva Studio Assembly. This is where you put on your director's hat. All the audio tracks and images get uploaded to the Canva timeline. From there, the podcast audio and the background music are layered on top of the visuals, building out a 20-slide presentation that ultimately becomes a 10 to 15-minute video. And when it's finally time to export, quality is absolutely non-negotiable. The project requires an MP4 file in at least 1080p high definition with the quality setting pushed all the way to maximum. This makes sure the final product looks and sounds professional, which is so crucial for building trust with your audience. And finally, we hit Phase 4, algorithm optimization. I mean, it's not enough to just make a great video. People actually have to find it. So here, students use vidIQ's SEO checklist to craft a viral title, a full description, and strategic hashtags and tags, all designed to get their video noticed and recommended by YouTube. So, after all that hard work, what's the payoff? Let's move to Section 4 and reveal the treasure at the end of this digital advocacy quest, the final deliverables that make up the entire ecosystem. And here it is. The final submission isn't just one video, it's a whole suite of 6 powerful assets. You've got multiple Suno songs, the Notebook LM podcast, the final video, the 20-slide visual deck, a quick tips infographic, and even a final blog post. It's a truly comprehensive package of support. All right, last but definitely not least, we arrive at the crucial 5th section, optimizing your impact. Because look, creating all this content is only half the battle. To make sure this project is responsible and actually effective, there are some very important rules of engagement. There are a few golden rules here. First, and this is the most important one, all the advice has to be based on valid mental health theories. Credibility is everything. Second, the production quality has to be professional to earn the audience's trust. And finally, you've got clear logistics, like a firm deadline and a go-to person, and Sycamore for any technical help. And the project brief ends with these really inspiring words from the lecturer. He's reinforcing the ultimate purpose of all this work, to use this platform to share genuinely beneficial knowledge and help people. It's the perfect send-off for these